Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. Today we are finally going to be discussing the story of the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, the Indigo disc. This episode is going to have full spoilers. We're also going to be discussing Scarlet and Violet and its completion now that it seems like we're coming to the end of these beautiful games. And I wonder if there's a possibility that we could get even more DLC. My name is DustyGogoat. Today I'm with the LumiosePost.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
I'd just like to say I'm doing great, and I'd just like to say that I would love if when you said beautiful games, we edited in one of the glitchy falling through the world. These
I meant like
games.
Spiritually beautiful, right?
I
was
It's
thinking
a
about
Pokemon
when you said it.
It's magical.
When you said it.
No, I was like, when he said that, I could hear
guy on the
someone's
bike?
keyboard just.
The guy on the bike.
Literally the same. I was thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get just wrecked from that comment. Yeah.
But no, it is
I
beautiful spiritually.
I got it though. It was beautiful. It was beautiful in its way. I was just thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, man, this was a good game. Even with all that trash in it, it was still good.
It is really
and even with those bugs, there genuinely are beautiful spots, right? Like Area Zero is genuinely beautiful.
Yeah.
The Kitakami to me was beautiful. Lots of areas in Paldea were as well. The fall area up there, was it Sakurat Trail? Oh,
I think I always think back to Area Zero. There's actually so many moments, even in Legends Arceus, there's so many beautiful Pokemon moments, right? Where I think in modern Pokemon, I feel like they're actually reaching the potential reaching the potential of what those older Pokemon games did for me, at least. I feel like older Pokemon games, because of their graphical limitation, it leaves a lot to the imagination. And I feel like specifically Area Zero and, at the end of the DLC, we're actually seeing and feeling and living and playing through these beautiful things that I probably would have imagined when I was a kid, right? It feels as epic as it possibly could. And like we're discussing, the only real issue is performance-based. So I am excited to see what Pokemon could continue to do in the future. But yeah, Soul, you were you played the DLC most recently out of all of us, so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the story overall. Right, this will be the first time we're actually discussing the post game or the end of the DLC and any sort of spoilers.
The entire thing, because like apparently it feels like this is the end of Scarlet and Violet, right?
Yeah,
it's like. Well, maybe it doesn't, but I don't know.
Actually, yeah. I mean, that's debatable, honestly.
It is debatable, but
we have an epilogue.
The idea is that this is it. Gen 9 or Scarlet and Violet, I guess, is just like that's it. We've had our 2 years of it now, and we have going into the last year of Gen 9 kind of thing. So it's like a bookend almost, since they started it with all these kind of like storytelling vibes to it. For me, I was initially super disappointed.
Really?
I don't know how you guys felt. I was going to ask you guys this question because like I don't know.
What were you disappointed by?
I'll just give you the little short rundown and then we can talk about it in depth.
Yeah.
Basically, we already did a podcast episode on just like our kind of first impressions of everything in there without going into story spoilers.
Oh, with Kayla?
And yeah, with Kayla. And that part of it, like the school part of it, the storyline was fantastic. I loved it. And then it's just like they just attached this random Area Zero part to the end, and it has nothing to do with any of it. It barely has anything to do with Scarlet and Violet, like, and then it's over. If you don't do like the little thing at the end, which is like a little bonus post game thing, then you're just like,
what is going on?
What? Yeah. Especially for me, like as like a theorist, and I mean like to other people out there that do theories and speculate, like I felt depressed for a moment. I was like, dang,
is this really?
I hyped myself up.
So I mean, let's recap the story beats for listeners, right? So you play through, the main part of the Indigo disc is you play through the Blueberry Academy, right? You fight the Elite Four, you fight Kieran, you kind of crush him, which, that's a whole conversation.
Send out Ogerpon.
Yeah, I did. Did you guys do that? Did you send out Ogerpon when you fought Kieran?
I didn't because I saw that screenshot like day one. I saw it and I was like, that's it. That's just one line. Like, okay, I saw space, I saw it, and I wasn't
knew
gonna
it
use
was.
I didn't know. I had no idea it was going to happen.
Just that line. I saw that like day 1 too, but I still wanted to tick him off.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I didn't realize
enough.
we'd be fighting him again when I captured Ogrepon. So I named Ogrepon Kiki, and I swear I was not trying to be like vindictive. It's not like a troll. It was just kind of like, that's a cute nickname for an Ogrepon, right? Yeah. And it's a story related thing. It reminded me of like Nebby, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt good. It felt good to crush Kieran. So we go to Area 0. We get a random phone call. Where it's Briar, right? Briar brings us.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we go to Area 0. We start exploring some stuff. And what's crazy is so here's the thing. I think it did feel like a movie. It did make sense that Kieran and Carmine were there. Movie. I did like that. What's up?
I said a bad movie.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know your guys' thoughts on it too eventually.
Well, here's the thing. We're like a month out, so I honestly, a lot of it, I think a lot of the emotions I felt are kind of have dissipated. But from what I do remember,
because you can look at it objectively too now. You know, like, because I don't know how y'all are, but I get like on a high with things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I will leave a movie that I see in the movie theater for the first time, and I'll be like when I left Endgame, I was
you're like, it's the best
movie I've ever watched. But then, like, with a little bit of time later, I'm like, actually, I think Infinity War was better.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of can be more objective later.
I'm the same as that, but usually my first reaction is I hated that, and then later on I'm like, I liked it.
Well, that's
I'm like the opposite.
The Pokemon fan, like that's the fan reaction too, right? Like Black and White, when it came out, everyone was like, Pokemon's dead, and then now everyone's like, please, Game Freak, give us our Black and White remakes, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, either way, you got to take a little time to like just like let it in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently rewatching like people Let's Play it. Like the ones that they did when it came out, but I'm watching it.
How did you guys feel about like, so the thing that struck out to me, and this is the thing that I love about Pokemon games, right? There was literally a book in the lab. Like, I love going to the Area 0 labs, right, and seeing all the different things, and there's little hints. And I remember reading, like, I felt rewarded for reading one of the texts that mentioned a white book, right, or whatever it was, a white, what was it, like a white text or something?
Book, yeah.
And I thought it was like a reference to like Reshiram or something. Like, I'm thinking like
that would make sense,
right?
That's what you would think.
And I was getting all excited, and it did make sense at the very end. How when you go back to the Crystal Pool, which is also really cool. The Crystal Pool is cool because I guess it does tell you that is a context clue to indicate where you go to find the professor, right? Which help me out, Soul. You literally just played it. I feel like I'm like struggling to remember certain aspects.
To remember it, or to what are you saying about it? Just that
I guess I'm forgetting the linear story of all of it.
Yeah,
like I'm remembering pieces.
You go to the pool. You meet the professor. You talk with him. You give him the book. He gives you his book, and that's that. Or
and basically,
because I played Violet, so
yeah, I played Scarlet, and there's basically a confirmation. I guess it's not really a confirmation of time travel, right? The fact that they are in the past and they've been gone for all of Arven's life.
There's some debate on that, but that's what I'm thinking, is that it's a time loop, and that is time travel. But it's also confirmation of what the Paradox Pokemon are, which is, in my opinion, even bigger. There was the debate on if they were past or future, or if they were from dreams, and it turns out both were wrong.
Yeah.
So what? Wait. So where do you think they're from then?
It says that they're from alternate timelines.
Right.
Well, that is.
So they're like variants, right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is time
regional
travel.
variants.
I think
variants like multiversal. No, it's not time travel. Time traveler.
It is time travel. It's time in space.
I explained this. Look, this is a timeline, right? Look, you got the past, or I guess for y'all, this is the future, the past, and the present.
Yeah.
Time travel is doing this, hopping across that line. But they are using an alternate reality. They are going to another line. That's not time travel. That's like multiversal travel.
But that's still time travel.
It's multiversal time travel. It's confusing because
I think this is what I always thought it would be.
The reason is that they are going to different times in a different universe.
Yeah, yes. Which I guess is irrelevant, because if you're going to another timeline, a separate timeline, which would be the multiversal. If you travel to another timeline, I guess it's kind of irrelevant what part of that timeline you travel to, because
it definitely
it's kind of independent right. It's like independent from our timeline. So like being from 1600 in a different timeline, they could have vastly like futuristic technology, right?
It's like if the Roman Empire never fell.
Yeah.
Well, that timeline's
think about that all
1800 looks very different than our timeline's 1800.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it still is like you're going there at a specific point in time, which is, I think that they're trying to say that like it's the same time, you know? You're going there at the same time, no matter what advances in technology or not that they have. And then they're pulling them from the future or the past or whatever.
But I feel like there's also another aspect where Terapagos is still... I'm understanding Terapagos to still be wish fulfillment. Terapagos can bend reality. Is that correct? That's how I understand it.
Well, there's also a lot of theories, like really conspiracy theory, like it's not rooted in science, that dreams are, you know, alternate timelines. Dude, the Marvel references today are so relevant. But I don't know if either of y'all saw Doctor Strange 2: Multiverse of Madness.
I didn't.
But in it, they explain that dreams you have are other realities, and like in that movie, he has to like basically go into a trance and put his mind in the body of someone and of his variant in an alternate reality. And so like I say that to say, if dreams are alternate realities, then he kind of is bringing dreams.
Yeah, but that's like literally a rule for that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's no I mean, all of it is just theory in the end.
Oh yeah.
So last night
it's all theory.
So okay, here's some backstory, right, for the real head. So I've been using, you know, for this is Dusty lore. I've been using mouth strips to encourage my body at night to like breathe with my nose. It's actually working, but it's also triggering
Dusty lore.
Dude, it's also triggering me to like.
It's working. I didn't get on that.
It's been 3 nights and it's been tough, and I'm
triggering dreams.
It's been triggering dreams, but also the dreams. Though, as I was falling asleep last night, I thought, I guess I was thinking about this conversation today, and I was thinking a little bit like, I'm not even asleep yet, but the things that I'm imagining in my mind right now are as real of a feeling as real life, right? When you see something in real life, and then you close your eyes in a different setting and imagine that thing, right? There's a point where that dream that you're having is as vivid, right? And this just comes down to, this is philosophy 101, right? Where it's like, what is really there? What is feeling? What is the human condition? Whatever, right?
This has gotten so much deeper than I expected.
Well, I think that's the crazy thing about this story, is that it is, and it's meant to make you think things deeper than just what it is.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind about it.
You know the meme with Tinglu like staring off at the beach and it just says "man" on it.
Yeah,
that meme could really sum up Scarlet and Violet.
but I think what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, we think dreams. When you say dream, it's like, oh, you have to be sleeping and it has to be this like imaginary thing that was brought to life. And it's got to be the dream world. But in reality, any sort of thought you have is a dream, right? What did Dr. Martin Luther King say? Right? I have a dream.
Yeah.
And he was awake. Right?
Yeah, well they have, you know, the word daydreaming.
Yeah, exactly. Like daydreaming.
It's just your imagination. It is like the sheer amount of times that they mention imagination in this game. Like I was doing a little bit of research on this last night and like looking at Ryfort's like history class over, and I forget, but there's this one line that she like literally says something about imagination again, and I'm like, you guys are killing me. It's like imagination and dreams, and you know, even you talk to Mela in the what is it? I guess a side quest for the Team Star people, and she's like talking about how our dreams that important and all that, and I'm just like, man, they really, either they were trying to confuse us or there's more to it. I don't know. I came to the realization, I'd have to find my tweet on it because it was so long, but just like the whole turtles all the way down thing was huge as well. I don't know. I don't even know if I can explain it on this podcast. But
so here's something. This is right off of Wikipedia. Yeah, the best source on the internet. So
yeah, there you go.
A dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations. And then it says that usually occur in the mind during certain stages of sleep. But I think that those 4 words, though, right? Ideas, that I feel like ideas is a big part of that, right? Ideas and emotions. And that also ties in directly with the Gen 5 legends as well, right? I feel like it all comes down to intention and what people want to achieve, right? Truths, ideals, future, past. I think this game is definitely trying to trigger a larger conversation.
I mean, if you think about it too, if the multiverse is infinite, then anything you can think of is at least one reality.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about that too. When I think about what I want to do in my life, I'm sorry, Soul, go.
No, it's all good. Go for it.
When I think about what I want to achieve in my life, right? When I imagine, okay, I'm going to have kids one day, I can see it as vividly as anything, and I go, that already exists in right? If you back up that, like I imagine like a Marvel timeline. I did watch Loki, right? I imagine the timeline, right? And I go, I'm here, right? And my kids are here, and I just need to keep living until that happens, and then it's real, right?
Sure.
It's wild. Yeah. No, I think that going back to what you were talking about, truth and ideals and Gen 5 and all that, I think that this is a big hint towards like if they're going to do Gen 5 in Gen 9. It's very possible that they decided to do it because the thematic like connection is there 100%. Like it just Scarlet and Violet's storyline kind of flows into the Gen 5 storyline. And it's crazy, actually.
Yeah, and I think there's also Wikipedia is talking about this a little bit, but this is definitely something that I recall that like a lot of dreams usually maybe like what's a piece of media that we can think of, maybe like in Game of Thrones, right, or the new season of like House of Dragons, right? I feel like I think it was the king has a dream or says something, right? That's something that happens, right? People who have significance or have self-importance, right, they have prophetic dreams. Anakin Skywalker right there, right? American hero. So these people have dreams, right? And basically that becomes their calling in life. They feel like those dreams, those ideas that they have are something that like they need to achieve for a higher power, right? So this is another element of dreams that's not just like, oh, I want a water type Machamp. It's like I want to rule the world, or I want to imagine a better reality, or these are like huge things. And this is kind of probably what Sada and Turo experienced, except the dream that they encountered. Now we know Sada and Turo, it wasn't a dream, or maybe it was a dream, but they actually time traveled, right? They experienced time travel. Maybe to them it was interpreted like a dream, and they saw the future so vividly, and then that's why they were able to then spend their whole life for this greater purpose of building a time machine, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. I think you nailed it. I was gonna my whole thing today was like gonna just go over the story as a whole, but you just pretty much encapsulated it just there, because I think that the whole story itself is really focused on people obsessing over something, like obsessing over their dreams.
Yes.
It starts
Kieran,
with the
Briar.
It starts with the Paldean Emperor, even, because he obsesses over wanting to rule the world by getting this treasure that's in the bottom of Area Zero. For 1,000 years, he sends people down there to die to try to get this treasure so that he can like fight people and make sure that his empire is the best, and it doesn't work. And it's just like obsession throughout all of the years over this treasure. And then there you are. You're like, it goes throughout the whole thing.
This is the Ruinous Quartet that you're referring to.
To Terapagos.
No, he was searching for the treasure at the bottom of Area Zero. It's always rumored to be there, and he sent people in there to die. But the Ruinous Quartet is a good thing to bring up. I still personally believe that the Ruinous Quartet is a hint at Terapagos having wish fulfillment power and the ability to rewrite reality itself. Because I mean, it's not a coincidence that these random items with dark histories to them were brought over to Paldea, and only there in Paldea do they come to life and become Pokemon. And I think that's also the thing too, is Terapagos kind of gets its power from strong emotions. These items came with attached with like this horrible history, this grief, this hatred, all this stuff, and it was able to use that to bring them to life. Then likewise, Sada and Turo were so obsessed with getting these Paradox Pokemon that they abandoned their own kid.
They ruined their whole lives. They ruined their whole lives.
Even when you meet them at Area Zero, the Crystal Pool, there's like a thing you can ask them, like, what about your family? And they go, yeah, I do have a son, Arvin. He's probably very lonely right now. Anyways, next question. You know, like, I mean, honestly, they don't seem to really care that. Like, they're so obsessed with it. And what I mean is, like, Terapagos takes that strong passion and then is able to
I agree.
basically make them a time machine.
I think that is how the powers work. Its powers work. I mean, so its powers are so convoluted, I'd say, like really complex and hard to understand. At the same time, it's like really simple, like what they tell you they are, basically, because it's just the mist. So basically, this mist that Terapagos makes things come from different universes, from different times, from different places. You know what I'm saying? It's just all a big thing where this mist that Terapagos makes happens like that. But like what powers the mist? I think Lumi's right on, where it's just like it feeds off of the people that it's affecting. You know, like all those people that went down into Area Zero to die, they died from Paradox Pokemon, is what we're understanding. Like they went down there and there was the mist, and then Pokemon from different timelines came and killed them, just like the great treads,
great tusk, tread,
great treads.
Great treads.
The two of them, how they killed whatever when Heath went down there, but Heath was the only one that was actually successful that one time. Anyway, yeah, the whole mist thing is wild. So that's what happens at the Crystal Pool as well, where it's just like Terapagos is there. They tell you, it pops up, and then the mist happens, and then it pulls Turo. Maybe I saw somebody say that it wasn't because of the player's desire to bring them there, but it was because of like the Koraidon or Miraidon, that was there with you, because the Miraidon pops out too. You know, it's there, so it's like it was that desire.
Well, and it probably does want to see them again. You know, not only was it close to the professor, but it probably has some guilt, right? Like the professor died protecting them.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Another piece of inspiration that I think Terapagos kind of takes from is the Philosopher's Stone. And what I've seen from this is that, I mean, we see it in some fiction like Harry Potter, where it's just kind of like it's just kind of like you basically what is it? It's like you can create whatever you're desiring, right? That's how it's seen in that series.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, in the last book / movie, he also, isn't it with the Philosopher's Stone that he's able to see like Sirius and his parents? You know, these people who had died.
I think that's maybe the first one or the second one.
No, it's
that's actually isn't that the second one?
I just can't remember which item allowed him to do it, because like right before he confronts Voldemort, he where he is killed by Voldemort, he did you not watch the movies?
Wait, Harry Potter doesn't die. Oh, yeah, he does, and then he comes back to life.
And then he comes back. But before the duel where he dies, or really, it's not even a duel, he lets himself die. He speaks with Sirius Black, Lupin, his parents, you know, all these people are dead. Yeah. But they're like summoned, I think, by the Philosopher's or the Sorcerer's Stone is the American version, but
yeah, but also in I guess it's not science, but like in, what would you call it, like in history or in, as it's referenced, the Philosopher's Stone also seems to have
pseudoscience.
Yeah, it has mystical powers to basically it's called like the elixir of life, right? It's useful for rejuvenation, for achieving immortality. This reminds me of Herba Mystica also, right? Herba Mystica has a variety of different powers, which we don't directly see referenced, right? We don't actually get any answers. That's one of the biggest questions
I still have about it, is Herba Mystica, they just left it off the face of the earth.
It must be part of the tree, though, right? It must be part of the tree.
No, the tree
has a branch. The tree has a branch jutting out of it that looks just like Herba Mystica.
Does it?
So I think that was their intention. But I will say, like, that is my biggest complaint, was that there were so many things that they hyped up to, like, as if they were going to be answered, that they didn't. Like, seriously, if you go back and watch, I think it was the August trailer, It was the trailer where basically they revealed after you beat the Indigo Disc story, you'll return to Area Zero.
Yeah.
They begin it by like, playing the Area Zero music and they're showing pages from the book. They show the weird symbols and like the cave with the crop circles.
We don't know what the symbols are either.
Never get an answer to that. And
Kayla gave us an answer.
That's annoying in itself. But the fact that they like showed it off in the trailer for like, look, you're returning to Area Zero. Look at this mystery from Area Zero, and then didn't answer it.
I've heard that the big
and they just stopped on the tree.
Yeah,
they just stopped on it.
I feel like
the tree was like so hyped up, and it was just like, you battle a Pokemon there. That's it, though.
I feel like there's a big disconnect between the marketing team and what Game Freak actually envisioned.
Yes.
Right, and not to say they're doing a bad job. They're obviously.
No, they're doing a bad job.
Doing a great job because they're hyping us up.
We don't like the marketing team here.
But the marketing team is it honestly is just clickbait at this point.
It's so like, sad though. The marketing team went from like the marketing team has been struggling. Like I feel like we're watching someone's midlife.
But they're not though because they're selling so well. The marketing team is doing what they're supposed to do.
I mean, but in fairness though, like you say that it's Pokemon. Like Pokemon.
No, they've had bad years.
You could say, hey, we're releasing a Pokemon game this November. See you then. And obviously, its sales will suffer from no marketing.
Yeah.
But it will still make more than most games, you know?
Yeah.
But I say that to say, like, you see in Sun and Moon, the marketing team's like, we are not leaving anything a secret. Yeah. They're showing off everything they have.
But those games didn't sell very
Sword
well.
and Shield... They're like, oh, look at this. We're doing weird things now. We've got this Glimwood Tangle live stream. Yeah. Oh, the website's been hacked. They start doing things like that with Legends Arceus.
That's true.
And then with the Sword and Shield DLC, they're like, let's just lie.
That's totally true. Because honestly, I think the real trend when it comes to I think, is the first Pokemon game on a new console sells the best, right? And I guess it's relative to how big the user base is for the console, so the Switch was massive.
Well, that'll be Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah, but I don't think that was that. I don't think that's really what it was.
Yeah,
it's also a remake. I'm talking about like the first. So like X and Y sold incredibly. So let's go back. Gen 1 sold incredibly. First one in Game Boy. Gen 2 sold incredibly. Also, this maybe doesn't even count because it's Pokemania, but that was the Game Boy Color. Then you get the first. Actually, I guess the Game Boy Advance kind of sold very bad. But the DS sold well because the DS was a massive success. You have the
it depends on the system too.
Sold really well, and then Sword and Shield, and then basically Scarlet and Violet also sold well because the Switch is huge, but it sold a little bit less.
For now, we'll see.
I didn't know XY outsold Sun and Moon. That is wild.
Yeah,
I don't know why Sun and Moon did poorly.
The first game on each console did best. Well, Scarlet and Violet isn't that on track to beat out Sword and Shield, or it did already?
Yeah. No, but it is on track, I think.
Yeah, well, it's good.
I don't think it did yet.
Okay,
I'm not 100% sure though.
I kind of lost our train of thought. So again, with the
I'll talk about the story the whole time.
Terapagos is literally a stone, right? It's literally a crystal that has mystical powers. It's literally right. Like think of it how you want to think of it, but if it's gonna have one relation to something, it's this mystical stone that can grant wishes, right? So. But that's so true.
It reminds me of, like, I'll try to make this my last Marvel reference, but the Scarlet Witch. Like, it literally, like, the mist, there's the whole Westview thing.
Oh, is that from
WandaVision?
Yeah, WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah. Like, like Soul even talked about how when there's mist, like, she has, like, a mist that she spreads, and that's, like, where she works, I guess.
Dude,
and
her
then,
husband
like,
was... He's just
a robot.
Trapped, dude. It's sad, dude. It's sad. He had no freedom.
That was a good show.
Right, but and her whole thing is she rewrites reality, and that's like kind of like that is what I've. Terapagos
someone's
is
gonna draw
Terapagos.
Which someone's gonna draw like a busty Terapagos now.
Oh no.
God.
No.
You can't relate Terapagos.
You know what's sad, Dusty? I'm sure someone already has.
It's true. It's actually
sucks, but that is definitely the case.
Stupid crowning cape.
Yeah.
Oh god. No. But
it's out there. Rule 34.
Oh no.
All right, we got to get back on track. Should we roll the ad?
I do. Yeah. go for it.
If you're enjoying this episode, please consider supporting Hidden Power on Patreon or YouTube channel members. Right now, we have 4 tiers, and the lowest membership starts at just $5 a month. Supporters get access to our secret Discord server and help control the direction of the podcast. Supporters also get access to our archive of bonus episodes.
Okay, so our Discord, honestly, is popping. We have other creators in there, too, which is kind of fun. It ain't just the 3 of us. We're discussing leaks when they drop. We talk about news. We'll be talking about how SoulSilverArt has, you know, just garbage takes.
It's so much fun.
It's a place for us to connect.
I'm in there every day. Also, we have revamped our merch store. So proud of every product that is in this store now. We have stickers, t-shirts, mugs, ball caps, right? The dad caps. These ball caps are embroidered. Look at this. It's literally an embroidered.
So clean.
You cannot get anything more high quality than that.
I just got news. Do y'all hear that? Soulbasaur says that he even has his own merch.
I'll talk for him. It's beautiful. Very cool designs. You guys should check it out.
Very Japanese style.
Even the front of the shirt has a unique logo.
I'm getting one for sure.
If you're invested in this show, invest in the show. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the video. All right, guys, welcome back. What were you going to say, Soul?
No, while Lumi is talking about it having like reality-based powers, I do think that they hinted more at like pulling from different times powers. Like, I think that the whole time travel thing was like their main goal, and if you can look deeper, then you'll find that there's more to it.
Well, that's part of reality. Reality's the what and the when.
Mm-hmm. They just went so complex with it. So like the design of Stellar Terapagos, which we all just
we talked about that.
About it.
Yeah,
I don't know how you about it. Yeah, I know Lumi doesn't like it. That's for sure.
I don't.
We talked about it on here, and Dusty said it was the worst thing he ever saw.
It's not good. Okay, it's like, here's the thing. So I've kind of gotten over it because it's a temporary form. So actually, I don't really care. I just don't care.
It's gone, Gen 10.
I'm indifferent. Literally in it might not even be in the next game.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, I don't care. Right? Yeah, it's better than getting a sick Ultra Necrozma and losing that forever. So
yeah.
So I don't really care at this point, you know.
It's like me depressed.
But it does look like Gmax Alchemy.
A little bit. Yeah, so that's a good segue to what I was saying. It's layered, right? Because it's supposed to be like Turtles All the Way Down, which is this phrase that people use basically to describe something that it's like describing religion, basically. Like, you have to believe it to be true. It's just, I don't really know how to describe it with words. I don't know if you guys understand.
It's like the which came first, the chicken or the egg type thing, where it's like you can't think too hard about it. But like it came from like some guy was like saying the world's on the back of a turtle, and they're like, okay, well, what is that turtle sitting on? And the guy said, on the back of another turtle. And the guy's like, well, what about that turtle? And so the guy goes, it's turtles all the way down.
Yeah, for like infinity. For infinity, it's turtles all the way down. Because there's no way to explain, you know, like their reasoning behind the world being on the back of a turtle.
Still, they could have given us, I don't know.
That's what, but it goes back to what you think. Do you understand? Because like these people are basically creating this idea with their imagination, and us as humans, we're the only beings that can do that. Does that make sense? Like, they're dreaming of like the world is on the back of a turtle, and there's no reasoning behind it. There's no like foundation. It's just turtles all the way down. And that's what the like stellar form is referencing. It is also referencing I haven't said this yet on Twitter or anything, but it's definitely also referencing the North Star, like a star, because the half dome is like the world, and then where Terapagos is the actual star, and that's which is stellar,
the dream, the ideal that you're chasing.
It also seems to reference I think it's called like the Feng Shui. It's like this Chinese turtle with a little turtle on its back.
Feng Shui. I've got that in my living room.
No, I gotta correct you on this. I know you did it in your video too, and I was like, oh, Luby, I wish I told you beforehand. But
do you guys not use the term Feng Shui?
No, Feng Shui is
Feng Shui.
Like, I don't know how to say it.
Oh,
but
I don't know either.
That is the Lumi. That's not what it's like. The dragon is called. It's just a dragon turtle. But the actual
when I look up Feng Shui turtle, it pulls up.
Right, because that's like the actual. What is it? Not horoscope. It's not horoscope, right? Yeah, it's like the name of the
Oh. Like
thing.
it's not a horoscope. It's connected to the treasures, I think, or something. Anyway, it's connected to something else.
The dragon turtle is the dragon turtle. The feng shui
I see what you
is the actual.
It's the dragon turtle. And the little turtle on top of it's not connected to it. I get it.
No, but it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Whoopsies.
It's just not called. It's not called feng shui. That's all.
Here's a couple. I want to ask you guys. Here's a couple dream-related terms. I'm curious. I feel like I can see a couple of them, but which one do you think any of these have shown up in the story? So we've got nightmares, night terrors, deja vu. Do you think any of those themes have shown themselves?
Deja vu, you could say.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true. You're seeing something over again. Right. That's kind of the time travel. That's true.
Time loop.
I mean, so people are saying that it's not a loop, and I do also think it's a loop. I don't know.
Paradox is. I was going to say the nightmare.
They are. It's like what's that concept of like? Yeah, it's like you think you want this wish, this dream, and then when it comes to fruition, it's not
really
what
you wish for.
Yeah.
That is true. It's crazy to me. One of the craziest parts of this story is them like constantly looping things with this whole concept. You know, like Heath talked to himself. It's almost implied that he talked to himself because when he has like
Heath. Sorry.
Yeah, Heath. When he has the moment where he writes down that page in the book and he's like, I didn't remember writing this, but it's my handwriting.
Yeah.
It's like he fell into like a trance thing. That was Terapagos's mist stuff. And then he doesn't remember it, but he probably talked to himself and he gave himself that page. You know what I'm saying?
So do we think that's what happened to the professors? Do you think the professors, when they're in that dream mist, they're witnessing something and they remember it as a dream, and then when they go back to their own timeline, it's like, did this really happen? It must have happened. No one believes me.
Well, and it's also probably why Koraidon and Miraidon are the only named paradoxes, right? Like they're like, I had a dream when they finally encounter the Winged King, the Winged King and Iron Serpent. They're like, I had a dream that like it was Koraidon and Miraidon, so they name it that, you know.
So cool.
That's really where the dream stuff comes in, because they go into this mist and they don't remember and they think it's a dream. That's totally on point, I think. I mean, it's not said in the game anywhere, but that makes a lot of sense. That would be like, oh, I had this dream and I'm obsessing over it, but the dream was actually the mist of Terapagos that brought in some kind of crazy thing from a different timeline. It's like so complicated, but so like at the beginning of this episode, I was like, I was super disappointed in this story and all that, but then after the little I want to call it the epilogue, even though it's not technically the epilogue, but the little moment with the professor, I was like, once you dig deep into this, it's a lot. It's actually a lot. It's just how they executed it on the surface of everything was poor, but there's actually a lot of complex ideas that went into it, which is typical game. This is all typical Game Freak. It's like, leave it for the fans to figure out or speculate for the rest of their lives. Like, that's it. That's how I feel about the whole DLC. And in the end, it's like the story of Scarlet and Violet, you know, in a way.
I felt like... Okay, so this is going to sound bad, so hear me out. I love the DLC. I think that there are so many good things about it, and I would be upset if I did not have DLC. But from a story perspective, I honestly kind of feel like the DLC's story tainted Scarlet and Violet's.
I can see that.
Like, when I was done playing Scarlet and Violet, I was like, that was the coolest story ever. Yeah. But after the DLC, I was like so let down that it was like...
It just felt disjointed, you know?
It doesn't negate it, though. It didn't negate that story.
It doesn't negate it, no,
but as a climax...
It just kind of made it leave a bad taste in my mouth.
It's like a sequel. Yeah. It's like okay, wait, what? Luke Skywalker is a murderer? Wait, what? It's like... Oh, yeah. It's like the legacy is...
Anakin murdered children?
Yeah. Imagine only watching the prequels, you're like, Anakin's so good. Oh, and then I guess no, he turns at the end of the prequels.
Yeah, at the end.
He was always a little,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Are you an angel? So here's another one. We got I guess the Dreamcatcher. I feel like Terapagos is undoubtedly like the design is based on a Dreamcatcher with the Dream Mist.
I could see that.
That's another term. I don't know about that one. I think that was just. I played into it because I was like, it's funny.
But it looks like that though. It really does look like that.
I can see it.
So I didn't even do this, but here's the here we go. This is just describing what it is. I'm trying to look for like a definition.
I'm like the worst offender of this probably, but like I like list how many things something like a Pokemon is based on, but at the same time you also have to like take it into perspective to be like, okay, they probably didn't put all of these references into this one
some of these
like some of it's going to be a coincidence.
As much as I want them all to be, it's mostly based on a few things.
I think the Dreamcatcher thing makes sense though. The Dreamcatcher is not like, oh, it's just its talons, so therefore it's based on this serpent from this weird place in it's like,
I agree with you in that it's a really good theory because of everything we just talked about. It could be a good theory to be like the terrestrial form looks like a dream catcher because it catches people's dreams and turns them in and pulls things from different realities for that person basically. So it does add up, but there's nothing backing it up, really.
Wow, if you think about it, we thought Terapagos would turn dreams into reality, but he really turned reality into dreams.
Yes. You're right.
That's true.
You're actually right.
Oh my.
That's good.
We also got...
There you go, Soul. You can tweet it. It's okay.
I might do that.
Sleep paralysis.
You can do it if you want. It's your thought. Good. And I will retweet it.
I will right now.
There's also the false awakening, which I feel like I do all the time. A false awakening is a vivid and convincing dream about awakening from sleep, while the dreamer in reality continues to sleep. After a false awakening, subject often dream that they're performing daily morning routines. We've all done this. This is basically just like you keep thinking you're gonna awake, but you're just stuck in the dream forever. Not forever, but
feels like it.
Yeah.
Feels like it. I don't know. I'm just thinking about like Lumi's disappointment with the story because I get it. Like when I finished it, I was that, and then I was like, okay, wait, let me just think about it.
But I guess so. I mean, we love dreaming, no pun intended. We love speculating, thinking about what's next, right? We do build up a lot of hype in our minds. But I'm curious, like, what did we actually expect this to be? I kind of want to revisit some of our ideas because I think originally what I thought was, what was I thinking? I think originally I thought we would get. Here's the thing. I wish the new Paradox Pokemon were incorporated into the story, right? Why is that not a thing, right? Also, we go deeper into the cavern and stuff, and there actually are more encounters in the, what is it called? The bottom of Area Zero. What's it called?
The underdepths.
Yeah, the underdepths of Area Zero. You can get Carbink. That's kind of cool. Kind of wish you could find Sableye.
Carbink is technically a Paldean Pokemon now, but it's not in the Paldea Dex.
Yeah. When I think to myself, like, what did I expect this DLC to provide? I think I definitely want a more connective tissue to the main story. It would have been great to, have Arven return with us or have some sort of dialogue with Arven, right?
Absolutely.
And all the new Paradox Pokemon they introduced, why are those not in the Underdepths? Why are they just randomly available, right? And why can't we get Virizion and why can't we get Iron Leaves and Walking Wake? Why are those not wild encounters? Why are those not wild encounters?
I mean, that's a whole nother thing because with those the Paradox Pokemon is they don't even mention the Paradox Pokemon. Like it's just like
it all has to do with
Pokemon. You even battle one too. I don't know what it is in Violet, but you battle a Stellar Sandy Shocks in Scarlet to
that's
get
true.
to Terapagos.
Really? No.
For Scarlet you do.
A Stellar, Stellar.
Oh
Sandy
Shocks. You do.
You guys get
it's Iron Thorns.
Iron Thorns. Okay.
But I didn't even think about that. I was just randomly
But like they don't mention it. They're just kind of like battle that Pokemon. It's like you're not concerned about what that Pokemon is.
I saw someone on Twitter, I forget who it was, but I retweeted it and they were like, it would have been cool if they made like those 3 battles with the stellar type Pokemon into like the gouging fire and raging bolt and walking wake. Like you had to fight all 3 of them. It was
Judy who posted that.
Yeah. That would have been genius. That would have been like, okay, we're like building up to something. You know, like put a little bit of explanation in it, you know?
Yeah.
But no, there's no mention of the Paradox Pokemon or any of those other things you were just saying.
And see, that's another thing that I was upset about it. And like Dusty, you mentioned this and I want to go back to it because it was brilliant. You talking about how Arven was not in the Area Zero Underdepths. I felt like, you know how sometimes there'll be like a really good movie and, you know, a few years later the company wants money, so they'll be like, hey, we're doing a reboot of this movie.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like, okay, there was that thing where like they rebooted, it was like a whole meme then. They rebooted Diary of a Wimpy Kid and like Not My Roderick was trending or whatever because like people didn't like that they recast Roderick or whatever.
Sure.
Well, that is how I felt going to Area Zero with Carmine, Kieran, and Briar. Yeah. I was like, discount Arven, Penny, and Nimona? No.
It's like, where are the original That was their story.
And I even said, too, I said this in a review video I did on my channel, Arven should have been there at least. Because, like, his trauma, everything about his character is because of Area Zero. And here we are getting a little bit more answers. He's not here to see it, and there's nothing... You know, even like if after, you know, you go to the Crystal Pool with Terapagos, you can talk to Arven, activate a little scene, that'd be cool. No. It's just like the game abandoned him.
And I guess
I tried to tell you guys, I was like, this is a story about them. Like, the DLC story is about Kieran and Carmine and you.
And that would be fine if they did not act like it was a sequel.
Well, here's the thing. I actually did... Yes, I do want inclusion of these older characters as a way of, I want their conclusion, right? But I did actually
like we did get their conclusion. I think,
but we didn't because we find out. But we didn't because we find out that what happens to Arven's parents, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, but he like accepted it at the end. You know, he was like, oh well,
it blew my mind.
It was very quick, but it was like that. It was like. Now I know.
The thing that I never liked about it, though, was, for one, I mean, exactly that. It was really quick. Like, he was like, it's really sad that my parents were dead and were replaced with a robot.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, and it's just so disingenuous.
You find out that he's actually a robot, too.
Yeah.
Well, no,
he's a line of code.
But, like,
you guys ever
he
notice
also
this?
has this thing, he has this dialogue, like, after you've beaten the game where, like, you know, Penny... Gita comes to her and she's like, you know, you were able to hack our system and give out league points. We want you to work for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're like, Nimona, we want you to organize the Academy Ace tournament. And Arven literally
like,
has this
go
thing
be an
where
orphan.
he says, well, he even says, like, oh, everybody's got something. I don't have anything.
Yeah, so bring him back to Area Zero.
Like, I see he doesn't have anything. Yeah. And that's how it ends.
Well, he had a tragic life, and that's it. I mean,
it shouldn't end tragically.
Did you guys? I never noticed this, but like apparently Arven, because you know how he loves cooking. Apparently, you could interpret that as he loves cooking because at an early age, as an orphan, had to learn how to cook meals for himself.
Yes,
that's so.
I never thought of that, and I was like, that's so sad.
That's true though.
He's such a good character too. Like seriously, he's
alright.
That's the thing is Scarlet and Violet.
I think his design is bad, but I do like him as a character.
No, I like the DLC characters more than the original 3.
Really?
Like I don't.
Yeah, but they look cooler.
For Drayton, because Drayton is the coolest character ever, and I love him
Drayton
so much.
I feel like
before we move on to that, because I do want to talk about that. One of the funny things about this whole Arven bringing them all back thing is the epilogue comes out next week, whenever this is being recorded or whatever. And they are coming back for that. It has been confirmed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't
think that there will be anything.
No. There's some goofball stuff going on.
I mean, from what we've heard about it, it's not anything character development.
You would like hope that now we're gonna get it. It's the epilogue, and people are like, it's the DLC epilogue. Yeah, but the DLC characters are not in it. It's Arven, Penny, and Nimona, and you, and
I mean, there is one cool thing about it though, but it's with Penny, and If fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this, gang. But
I don't want to hear
this
spoilers.
Not big, but Penny's confirmed to be related to Peony.
Oh yeah, we've known that for like 5 months.
Dusty clearly
more.
I didn't know. What do you mean? You knew that?
Yeah, she's always been related to what's his face, the guy in the second DLC of Sword and Shield.
Peony.
Yeah, Peony.
Chairman Rose's brother.
Wait,
yeah.
What?
She's related to Chairman Rose. She's Chairman Rose's niece.
But Chairman, wait, no. But Chairman,
yeah,
but
I mean it's true. Everybody talked about.
But Clara, wasn't Clara Chairman Rose's?
No, he had a daughter named Peonia. But the thing, Dusty, is sometimes people have more than one kid.
What?
That's her sister.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Wait, I kind of love that. That's so cool. I thought that was speculation. I did hear about that before.
It's confirmed now, though. It was speculation, but like everybody was pretty much like, but now it's confirmed.
Is this her? Is this Penny? This is Peonia.
No, that's Peonia.
So where's Penny?
She's not in the picture. She wasn't born yet, Dusty.
Do you think? All right. I don't know.
A bombardier had not yet delivered her at their doorstep.
Oh, true. Yeah.
They could have made it a little more convincing. Like, she is pasty white, and I don't know if she would come out looking like that.
I mean,
between the two of them.
If we take a look at the mom, I mean, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's not even possible. It is true. It happened. It is confirmed.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with
Bulbapedia's
website. I just gotta say this. Bulbapedia's website sucks right now.
Marriage. Oh wow. Maybe Peony adopted her. That's not her biological father.
No, I think that's just he's got a mother.
White is my thing.
She's got a mother.
It can happen. It can happen.
It happens all the time.
It can.
Humans are crazy. You never know how we're gonna come out.
Humans are crazy.
So
I know.
Humans are crazy.
Do you ever wish you were like more like one of your parents?
That is the greatest quote from this podcast.
Do you ever look at your parents and you're like, I wish I got more of your genes, or I wish I got less of your genes?
No, I got the bad side of all of my parents' genes.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm pretty content with how it turned out, but
I like to think that I'm like more grounded and humble than my dad, but I still have his confidence, but I still have like my mother's like unabashed, like just like proud of who you are.
I thought we meant physical traits.
Yeah, those two.
I thought you said my mother's legs.
Listen,
for a second.
I could have been a little bit taller.
He's like my mother's leg.
Yeah, I wish I had my mom's feet, and my dad's ears.
Oh my gosh.
my mom's nose.
I've been told I'm copy paste my father. So.
Yeah,
that does happen too.
Yeah, but also people just like say that just because
then I got my mother's
both dads or both boys.
Migraines. So
yeah, I know the health stuff. That's where I could be like, okay, my whole family's got gastrointestinal problems.
You know that Hannah Montana song, "Best of Both Worlds"? It's like the opposite of that.
Yeah, I got the worst of everything.
Exactly.
How do I know that song? All right, anyways, let's move on, guys.
What were we talking about before?
I have no idea.
There was something.
Oh no,
we're talking about the lack of Arvin, Penny, and Nimona in the DLC.
Yes, but so here's the thing. I think Kieran and Carmine were great in the post game. I think Briar was. Koo was right.
Yeah.
Briar was a waste of. What did he say? She's a waste. She's like does nothing.
But listen,
useless.
I think that, but at the same time, I think that Briar was like also the villain.
She wasn't the villain, Soul.
Bro, she was going nuts in that.
She was just excited.
She literally pushed the kids to do these things. She's the adult there, and she's
Kieran
like,
is very clearly going through it, and she's like, "All right, can we get to Area 0 now?"
Yes.
I'm talking about
that
the
is a
final
very
scene.
irresponsible. Okay, Dusty, you've got nieces. If one of your nieces is like, on the ground like bawling, and she's like, "This is the worst day of my life," you're gonna be like, fantastic, let's go to the store already. No, you're gonna
console her a little bit.
She encouraged Kieran's behavior. Like Kieran was wilding out, just trying to get Terapagos to fight the player character, and she's like, you gotta terrestrialize this to make it crazy and better so I can see its power and all that. All she cared about was seeing Terapagos and its full potential, which is just like very irresponsible. She apologizes multiple times because she knows that she messed up.
I do like that Carmine told her off. At the end, she's like, "I'm sorry, kids. I was irresponsible." And Carmine's like, "Yeah, dang right you were."
Yeah. Carmine was the only adult there.
What I liked is that if I'm remembering correctly, I like how Kieran was just like so ashamed, and then Carmine was helping as best as she could, but she like lost some of her team members, right? So she couldn't help. She could only use one Pokemon, and then finally it's like we're on our last thread, and Kieran's like, all right, I'll step up and help, and we'll be best friends again. Like, I thought that was pretty cool, right? You actually see that character development. I also
they did.
Did we talk about this? I love how Kieran legit said, "Oh, I came prepared. I got my Master Ball. I'm taking my shot." I'm not saying it's like ethically that's the right move to make. He was a good
antagonist.
Dude, it was good. It made me it kept me on my toes. It made me actually respect him. I go, oh, okay, this guy's serious. He's not waiting for permission. He's going to capture
really
this
mad
Pokemon
I caught
immediately.
That ogre
yeah,
dude, I like that a lot.
I don't respect him, but yeah. I agree. Like the character development in this whole thing was great. It was good.
On the subject of the epilogue and all too, I also hate that like there was that little thing with the purple mist, and Petrarch has nothing to do with Kieran.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that for a long time, and I was just like, people are gonna be so disappointed that Petrarch has nothing to do with any of this story.
Yeah.
Like at all.
I wouldn't mind it having nothing to do with the story, but it'd be nice if they had teased, like, you know, like if Kieran just had one thing where he's like, I feel like there was something that happened to me. And then that's it. And then in the epilogue, maybe at the end, he's like, I feel better now. After you've caught that thing, I don't have this anger in me. You know, I don't know.
It would have been a disservice to his character to be like possessed by it, but it also would have been cool.
Possessed, no, but influence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's still up for interpretation, though. Like most of the things in this DLC, it's just up for interpretation. Because you can't. There is like undeniably there is a mist around his body at the shrine when he punches it.
I think
like
that
it's there.
Was just he punched the shrine and it just like moved something and they woke up.
Listen, into him.
So here's the thing:
like if you freeze, like if you slow it down, it goes.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
If you hit something that's old and dusty, and the dust just—I think he moved it, and it came alive. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he punched it, the dust popped off.
Here's the thing:
and that was it.
I have never been. I've seen the pictures, I've seen the videos, I've seen the analysis. I've actually never been convinced of any of that. It for whatever reason, to me, yes, it's intentionally put there. But I never really thought it was going to be an actual story beat. I don't think I was ever convinced that it was going to be an actual story beat because it didn't seem intentional enough. Or didn't seem... Sorry. Game Freak or whoever is developing the game put it there intentionally. But I think it's an Easter egg. I think it's like a little thing. I don't think it's like this is a direct story beat. If it was a story beat, it would have been way more obvious, I think. Right? There's no shot my niece is playing the game and is like, oh, he's possessed because of this scene earlier, right? She didn't see the scene earlier because she's not on Twitter.
Yeah. No, but you should do things for the fans who are, you know,
and
older and gonna analyze that.
Yeah, and I think that's what that was. I think it was just kind of like it's up for interpretation. You figure it out. You know.
I don't know if you guys have seen anything from the epilogue that's coming, but. It's really ironic what ends up happening because I was wrong. Kieran and Carmine are in it, I think, but
they are, yeah.
So it's ironic how it all turns out with that. I don't know. I didn't spoil myself or anything. I've just seen a few things.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I talked to Toby about it, and that's
I think
pretty
he played
much it.
But I'm not sure.
No, he didn't play it.
A lot of people.
He didn't play it.
A lot of people have played it.
He watched a playthrough of it.
Gotcha.
I mean, the footage was out there, so people have seen it.
Yeah.
But I have not. No, I have not. At the time when you guys listen to this, I have not played it. But
yeah, I haven't played or watched it because if I watch it,
that's true. This will be coming out. This will be coming out after it's out.
Well, it might be the day of, like 3 hours before. When are we dropping this?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments when this is, what day it is. When you're watching this.
What day is it?
Yeah,
we don't even.
Speaking of time travel, when this is over, we're gonna turn off our cameras and we're gonna be like, that was a weird dream I had.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. I was just watching this like footage that you have up Dusty. And you see, Briar's just like, he wouldn't even have battled Kieran. Like, we wouldn't have battled Kieran if Briar wasn't like, you got to show us what's going on with Terapagos. Yeah. This whole thing wouldn't have happened without her being there. He would have just caught it and been like, I'm the best.
So what was the, no, you're right. What was like the main, I think I was like overwhelmed by or confused by like what the threat was. Was it just the collapse of the underdepths of Area Zero, or was it just Terapagos' power? Because you can go into the main world,
dude,
and
turn
it into its stellar form. It's like, why is it so powerful? Why is it destroying us? I'm pretty sure it's the collapse of the underdepths, right?
I was so disappointed with that because I was told that it was like gonna end the world with this.
Yeah, it's a world. And I mean,
maybe
it's not doing that.
It just was left unchecked and it was just gonna keep like exploding, it would have just blew up the whole.
Oh, maybe it was doing that because of all the Terra energy around it. That's why, right?
But they never say. They're just like, you got to stop this or we're going to die, basically.
Yeah. They're like, this is a problem. Why is it a problem?
And it makes Terapagos...
Stop it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, everyone except for Briar. She's just like, whatever.
Don't question me.
Let's like, keep going.
Yeah. Briar's like, let's keep going. Heath was right.
Carmine's sitting over here like, everyone shut up.
Yeah, look at, she goes, it's far too low. We need to power it up. So I think, I don't know, another thing from...
This is the moment where she's like going...
Yeah, she's like, oh, I have an idea. I think like we're just like watching this footage now. Yeah,
I had to play this twice because it beat me. It destroyed me the first time.
Really? Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could.
Because for me, I mean, because of how powerful it is. You did use Necrozma?
Yeah, against it. It was kind of epic. You know?
It's kind of cruel, Soul, to send out your Necrozma and be like, it has its gimmick form. Where's yours?
Yeah, I know. But I still defeated it. Here she goes.
Yeah.
She's like sweating
I knew it.
In this.
The Scarlet Book is right. Terapagos, and it's fully awakened from. This is the hidden treasure of Area Zero.
Roll credits.
She goes full insane.
I mean, Terapagos. I don't know. It's if you're just
Cocoa
listening,
Puffs.
we're watching the game footage of the finale right now. This is crazy. Yeah.
And then we all get quiet.
We get quiet. This is the climax.
It's getting really crazy right now.
Yes,
this was epic. I love that.
Yeah, so
Koraidon was gonna happen.
Koraidon comes out.
Koraidon saves him.
What I thought was gonna happen is Koraidon was gonna absorb some of the power and terrestrialize or have a terrestrial form itself, right?
Yeah, that was just
nope.
People that thought that were really on that high copium.
Oh, that was me, baby. It made sense.
They're not getting there.
Well, then tell me what. Oh, we gotta stop watching this. So tell me this then, Soul. Like, what are those two missing items? Right? What are those two missing items then?
Do you know the amount of stuff that was
cut for what?
They're like right next to encoding. They're like right next to Sinisty and Bronzor fragments. So a lot of people think that they were originally an item you had to collect to get the armor for Armor Rouge and Sorrel Edge.
See that? Yeah, but I like to think that maybe it's a terrestrial form for Reshiram and Zekrom. That's a better idea.
I mean, maybe, but game freaking better ideas, sense. Dusty. They don't go together.
Yeah, dude.
The whole terrestrial forms, terraforms, we know that they were cut. Like, we know a whole bunch of stuff was cut. And that does give me hope for the future when you're talking about Zekrom and Reshiram. But
for the record, I will say too, we know they were cut from a leaker, and I will say too, in fairness to the leaker, there are people who last time I brought this up were like, "Oh, so if it's not in the game, then it was cut." And actually, he said it was cut before the games even came out. So, you know, it wasn't like he backtracked and went, "Oh, that was cut." You know, he actually said before the game came out, this got cut.
The amount of stuff that I knew before that was cut, it's like, okay, they cut a lot of stuff, which is probably because they're trying to get this game out by the end of this year, or the DLC out by the end of the year, and they probably were like, we don't want it to be a complete mess like the first part, even though I think that this performed like worse than the base game. So I think that they cut a bunch of stuff because of that, but that's my personal
Indigo Disc definitely performed worse than the base game. Indigo Disc, I've always said, you know, obviously I've seen the glitches, I've seen the frame rate issues, all that. It never was a hindering experience for me.
Same.
But with Indigo Disc, there were genuinely moments where I was like, ooh, like there were genuinely moments where I put down the game because I had a headache.
If I go into the Savannah biome and I'm running around, it stopped. Like if I jump in the air on the Miraidon,
it'll freeze.
it
Yeah.
freezes. I'm like, oh, it's gonna crash. It's gonna crash. Boom, and then it comes back. That happens to me constantly in the Savannah biome.
Yeah, which is funny because that's probably like the least like complex biome too. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the issue is you can see so far out on it, whereas the other ones, you know, you're kind of like caved in, so you can't see far, so they're not having to load much. But I did want to. We need to talk about some other things first, but I will say on the subject of things that were scrapped and all, that was something that I said in my initial review of it was, you know, I do not have any kind of inside knowledge, and I do not know what game development is like, so I can't really attest to this. But that was the thing, was like the story to me felt like they had plans and had to cut them, whether that was for time, for technical difficulties.
The story did feel like that too. You're right.
Like specifically with all this stuff, all these symbols that were in Area Zero, evidence of a hidden civilization in Area Zero. These symbols were even on the cover art of Scarlet and Violet. Never explained. You know, Paradox Pokemon, not really fully explained until a tiny little like end credit scene. You know, when you go to the Crystal Pool, and even then, it's only kind of just vaguely mentioned. They don't act like it's a big deal. But that was like my feeling of it. It genuinely felt incomplete, and that's the first time I've. A lot of people have said that since Sword and Shield, especially. We've seen a lot of people go, the game feels incomplete, runs like a GameCube game, whatever. You know, I've never felt that before, but with this DLC, I genuinely did feel like that felt a little incomplete. And then we do know too, talking about scrapped features, the leaker said that there was supposed to be a feature that would have allowed you to set your Pokemon speed IVs to 0.
Yeah,
which is great for competitive.
100% believe it too.
Yeah,
because I've heard it from multiple people. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think there's been plenty of scrap stuff. I think as the games, I don't know, I guess like Pokemon and Nintendo have like they kind of exploded at the same time. Like in 2016, Pokemon Go blew up. Pokemon had another global resurgence in popularity. Right, it's the biggest it's ever been. And at the same time, the Switch dropped, and Nintendo itself did the same exact thing. And I think over these last like 7-8 years, I feel like they've really just been stretching themselves thin to keep up the pace. This is an old thing. We've been talking about this for a long time, right? I think this is a very warm take to say that they're stretching themselves thin, but I do think at some point, I don't know. Scrap things actually have been around since Generation 1. So maybe that's maybe that's super.
No, it's part of every part of every single thing.
Yeah, there's games, right? Things are scrapped and you don't know about them. Yeah. You know, I mean, there were probably hundreds of scrapped Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. You know, someone probably drew up a Pokemon like, oh, this is based off this. We don't really think that works.
Bro, that's the best thing in the world, that there's actually probably 100 beta Pokemon. I was reading, we got another beta Pokemon episode, but
there's way more. Yeah,
I was reading. It was a graphic created by Dr. Lava, but basically the quote included the origin of Bisharp, and it was basically like they had orders, or whoever the artist was, maybe it was Sugimori, I'm not sure, but they had orders to create a Pokemon that was spiky, that lived in an urban city, that was steel and dark type. And I love the idea that they were just like, we need this, here's an outline of what we need for the game to function, right? It's like a True Green 7 video, right? It's like, here's the outline, here's the prompt, create something. Which is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so much cooler than being like, we need this very specific thing and then just make it, right?
They did that with Bassilin too. They said we need a new water type.
Yeah.
And so they made Bassilin, and they said make 2 forms of it so it looks like we have more.
But no, absolutely. But then what that also probably tells me is that there's probably a couple different versions of 100%. There's various variations of Bisharp and whatever the little one's called.
There's a good King Gambit design out there.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like there is multiple versions of that Pokemon, but also maybe different versions of what that Pokemon could have become, which is maybe a beta Pokemon, which probably found its way into existence in later games. So, I don't know. Maybe that is part of the magic of Pokemon, that there are these creatures somewhere out there. In alternate, dude, that's the coolest thing, because a paradox Pokemon is basically a different timeline, a different reality, and so like to me that canonized all of the beta Pokemon, right?
All the beta Pokemon. There's a reality out there.
There is,
where all of Gen 2's beta Pokemon were actually real, and
I love that.
I'm gonna become obsessed and make a time machine thing that makes it so that I can pull them into this reality.
Spaniards, Portuguese friends, look out. Soul's going over there. He's going to find some turtles. You're gonna see Soul walking around Madrid with a turtle. Like, I'm gonna get to that timeline.
I need the treasure to get this.
Yeah,
man, I want that.
You're gonna look like Briar down there, man.
Yeah.
So I saw that you were actually coming around on gouging fire.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
What do you think? Are you starting to come around on some of these Pokemon?
I did a full 180, bro. I like it a lot. I don't even know how it happened.
Because
it's not like one of my favorites or anything, but I like it a lot. Especially that side profile is like, I love the giant horn. The only thing I still like don't care for is like the colors, the crown.
The colors are cool to me.
And like the furriness about it, but that still doesn't. I still like it. It's weird, but it happens.
To me, this is like.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, I think this is
I like gouging fire.
Very similar to why I like the Beast in general. This looks like Suicune to me.
Yeah,
that's an Entei, sir.
Yeah.
I think
looks more like Entei.
Yes, it looks. Yes, this is based on Entei, but I'm saying like the flowy.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
The cat-like version. It is cool. This is why I like Raikou. I think Raikou has gotten derpier, but
that's Entei, sir.
Yes, this is Entei. Yeah.
Anyway, there was something that Lumi said that I wanted to talk about, and I forget. But we can also talk about what is his name, Drayton.
Yeah, I wanted to. That was something I wanted to ask about. Was we talked about how we felt about Briar, Kieran, Carmine. What about the other DLC 2 characters? Serrano, the Blueberry Elite Four.
Yeah,
like I said, I really liked the whole school vibe. The only thing I hated about it was like you're just there, you do the trials. It was actually really short. You do the beating. You beat them, and then you move on to Area
I don't know
Zero.
if it was statistically shorter than Teal Mask, but it felt shorter than Teal Mask.
I think there was more lines of dialogue in the Teal Mask to me. I don't know.
Well, and there were definitely more. I mean, you figure there's, if you want to be technical, there's like 7-8 boss battles, because you have the 3 or 7. You have the Loyal 3, then you have Ogerpon 4 times.
Yeah.
And then you have you have how many battles with Carmine, how many battles with Kieran, whereas this one you just have a battle with Carmine, 2 battles with Lacey, a battle with Crispin, Amaris, Drayton, and Kieran.
And then Terapagos.
And then Terapagos at the end.
Twice, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the school portion of it just because
I enjoyed it.
It felt like its own thing. It felt good. It was better than the Area Zero part.
It was also very Unova, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a whole different vibe, and it really felt like I don't know if you guys ever played Fire Emblem 3 Houses, but it felt like something like that. Like you were actually part of this school kind of thing.
I think that's what I wish I wanted. I think that's what I wish we got in the base game of Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really care for the school at all. It felt like a chore to be there.
Oh, I hated it.
Right. I think but it was nice. Yeah. It's like there was actual characters that I cared about. They were actually on par with me. I mean, there were plenty of characters, but because you don't battle them,
it's not right.
Dude, it's not right. It's not right.
It's just not right.
Let's do it once for this. Someone's gonna screenshot that.
There we go. All together now.
It's just not right.
It's just not right.
I think
I'm just doing all.
It's so fun.
It's fun.
I know it's so great. I'm just gonna like put it into my daily like,
I did that to the kids.
Yeah, like
the kids were trying to come in our room, and I was like, "No, you can't come."
I'm gonna be talking to like just my regular friends that don't even know that I'm part of like a Pokemon community.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna be like, "That's just not right."
Yeah. No. We need to normalize that. We need to get that.
I know, it's
thing
so good.
So that
it's
people
the new
outside of the Pokemon community, like they're doing this because like it just becomes a thing.
Yeah, first it was Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther got huge. Now it's Lacey.
Wakanda forever. Now it's
Lacey forever.
Just not right.
Yeah,
I liked her character, even though
I did. Her there wasn't like a whole lot of my favorites.
Yeah.
Drayton was my most favorite. He was great, dude. Him leaning down to Kieran and going, "Ex-champion."
That was the best moment. That was the best moment of the whole DLC. When he's like, you can't see it on my camera, but he's like arms open, walking towards him.
Yeah.
Like, and Lacey's like, "Wait, chill, don't go." Like he's broken right now, and he's just like, well, look what happened after all of this. Ex-champion. It was dude, that part was so good.
Like not even just him saying ex-champion, but leaning down and champion. You know, that was horrible. I loved it.
I didn't like Drayton that much, like the whole time. I didn't like that he was like manipulating us. You know what I mean? But that moment like made he had his own little vendetta against Kieran, and the whole thing. I was like, I don't even care. This is great.
Look. He hated Kieran, so I loved him from the beginning.
Yeah, it's true. This is after.
I also like how his hair emotes. That's kind of cool.
I did too. His hair like will fall down.
He's a Zoroark. That's why he's a Hisuian Zora.
Which is ironic because he's, a dragon type trainer.
Yeah.
Lacey using an Excadrill also.
Look at him go.
Well, so this is another thing that I kept thinking about. I'm like, I feel like the cutscenes like this, right, are so good, and they are as close to a full-on, Final Fantasy cutscene where there's voice acting as it can get without actually having voice acting, right?
Yeah,
this is great as is.
Voice acting is that like if it's not what I imagine it to be, I feel like it'll ruin it.
No,
you know what I mean?
But dude,
it will change the dynamics for sure.
Yeah, but that's true with like even the anime, right? And here's the thing: it's because there will be a voice. That's gonna be the first thing you hear and imagine with that character, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not because right now with all these characters, you've had a year to imagine what they sound like, and then if you hear what they sound like, it's like triggering, right? It's like it's like in Pokemon Masters where we hear Lance talk, and you're like, okay, this is a theater kid. This isn't a real Dragon Master. This is like he's an actor, right? But if these characters debut with whatever the voice is, it's gonna be epic, dude. It's gonna be so good. I think the most jarring experience. It'll be different. Yeah, it's gonna be different. But the most jarring experience for me when I was like, this needs voice acting was the intro scene. The professor, or no, it's Chairman Rose in the beginning of Sword and Shield, where he's in this massive stadium, and he's sending out a Pokemon, and it's just like. It's like not even a real thing.
I definitely could have used it. I've been watching lots of Let's Plays, like I was telling you, and it would change that dynamic a lot. I know a lot of people probably don't do that. I don't know, maybe a lot of people do, but they watch people play it, and the people that do it, like they do the voices of people, which is like super entertaining though. Like I think that those people will.
I mean, you can always turn. You could probably turn, the cutscene voices off if they did add the thing. But like I will say, like. I no hate to these voice actors because they, at the end of the day, there's someone getting a paycheck. Good on them.
Oh, I agree with what Lumi's about to say.
But the anime dub is
it's good
to watch.
Oh, it's bad.
Today you guys will know what day it is. Yeah, you guys will know what day it is right now because I'm about to say something. They just released Iono for Pokemon Masters.
Yes.
And they are all voice act. They all have voice acting for that. She sounds so bad. I'm sorry to the voice actor, but I cannot. It sounds like.
Is it like an American trying to do the Japanese voice?
Yes, it sounds like a Japanese one, but it's not. It's so bad.
Holy
it's like
I gotta look this up.
A little gremlin. Sounds like a gremlin.
I feel like there's I feel like there is this thing. Not every voice actor does it, you know, but I feel like a lot of the times voice actors will overact, is what I like to call it.
But they're also being directed.
You know,
to
if
do
they're
that.
supposed to deliver anguish, they'll be like, "Ah!" You know, and it's like, okay, calm down. You know.
Do I do that again?
I don't think it could.
I don't know.
I will be the number one champion of the world.
And it's cringe, you know, like it's something that you'd see trending on a cringe page.
I think in some instances it's good, but in most other ones it's not. And I do think that it's to copy the Japanese expressions, because Japanese like media, anime, whatever, and Japanese people are intense people. Like it's intense. It's always intense.
Which is cool.
So
that's what we love about it.
It is cool, but it sometimes doesn't translate to our culture that well.
That's what, like, I mean, literally.
Well, then don't try to translate it then, you know?
No, but oftentimes you have to match whatever the actual animation is.
They want to keep it the original source material.
I'm just saying, Gens 1 through 3 dub in of the anime, it was great, was amazing. When they switched over, when 4Kids lost Pokemon, and you know it switched over in the middle of Battle Frontier, that is when you started more and more to the point where now, like, you can't even watch Pokemon dubbed. Like it's bad. It's bad dubbed.
I watch it with the kids. It's pretty fun. It's cringe.
Yeah, with the kids
fun.
it's fine.
It's great with kids, yeah. But like you know,
yeah, no, I do.
I can go back and watch the Indigo League, and like you said, Soul. You know, they're trying to replicate like Japanese culture and all. They didn't do that in the English one. In the English one, you know, Ash is over here like, Vikings mostly live in Minnesota. They're calling these things that are clearly rice balls jelly donuts. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not trying at all. Therapy. If anything, they should be trying more.
Yeah.
All I can hear is Ash going, and that just sounds like an anime to me. Right?
No, it is. It's because also they just are copying the source material.
Exactly.
Too. It's not just the culture. It's also like we want to do exactly what they did. But anyway, it would be weird in a game, but also
I think it'd be so good in a game, man. Literally, it would make Sun and Moon playable.
We've already had it. Technically, we've already had it.
They have it in Masters
Pokemon game.
Yeah, they have it in Black and White 2.
Mainline Pokemon game, Black and White 2, and also Legends Arceus.
Roxy's
Whenever you get hit, the character will go like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right, yeah. What's her name? Her name's Roxy, right?
Roxy, yeah. It's also in Alessa's gym, but it's not Alessa speaking, I don't think.
Alessa? Oh, yeah. Is it Alessa? Yeah. Yo, this girl's so cool. Dude, what is wrong with Bulbapedia these days? It's been so bad.
I think there's like a bot protection thing on it now.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure that's why I've seen it too.
It doesn't allow me to go through it easily.
Well, then it thinks you're a robot because you're a lizard person.
Dude, that gym is so cool. So what they do is
only patrons will get that joke. I just realized.
Yeah, that's true.
Subscribe to Patreon,
dude. I miss this concept art. When are we gonna get concept art for Gen 9
and members? Concept art for Gen 9 never, because they don't release that stuff. Actually, they are releasing something soon, I think.
Are they?
Or maybe they already did.
This is so
There's some kind of art book. I think I saw some.
Yeah, it's just an art book of Liko and Terapagos and.
Yeah, that's not.
No. There was something for the games. I thought it was like announced like shortly before Indigo Disc came out.
The guidebook's coming out.
Maybe that was what I saw. Maybe
that would be so.
I'm hoping we get the official art for like the last few Pokemon too. That'd be nice. And they're like Dream World art.
Yeah, we will. We actually will. Soul when Gen 10 is announced on that day, they're gonna drop. Given that they only dropped Ursaluna, Blood Moon, like,
and Sinistcha. No, that's what they're gonna do. It's gonna be Hydrapple and like that's it.
Maybe they'll do it. Maybe
like Gouging Fire and.
You know what? Honestly, I could see them doing it on Pokemon Day for sure, but also since this is being recorded before the epilogue, I could see them doing it in the epilogue. Because, like, when the epilogue comes out, because they might, release the official art of Petra.
I'm hoping.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Gita is not a robot. That's another note that I realized.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We thought she was fake.
I mean,
Gita's a real person.
For the record, she is not confirmed to not be a robot.
Yeah, it's true. You don't know. We really still don't know. But
I'm off the train.
If anything, she's a hint to Gen 10. I still am like.
You think it's India? Is that what you're saying?
I'm hinting at that, but I don't know.
I still think it's the Netherlands.
It very well could be that as well. We have a lot of.
I think they'll do they'll pull Scarlet and Violet, and like where it'll Spain and Portugal. I think it'd be like Netherlands and Belgium.
Yeah.
But
could be.
It'd be fun to do a full episode on that.
Yeah.
Lumi, I am curious. We've recorded 2 episodes without you. We really don't have your general opinion on the biome itself.
the biome itself. Biomes are good.
Like, did you enjoy the DLC overall, not the story?
Yes,
per se?
no, I really did. I enjoyed the DLC so much. The item printer is like cocaine to me.
I still haven't messed around with
very
that.
addictive.
Do you have to unlock that? Where is that?
I haven't done it either.
You have to go to the school computer, like where you can change like your school's decor and everything.
Yeah, okay.
And you have to give money to or BP to someone who's going to give you the item printer, and then you have to make some items. And then you'll be able to upgrade it to Great Ball, Ultra Ball, and eventually Master Ball.
That's cool. But yeah, I absolutely love the biome. I feel like I've spent so much time here. It feels like 4 different Kitakamis. That's what it feels like. And there's so many cool wild Pokemon spawns like Flygon, Scizor, Cleavor, the Lapras. There's always Lapras all over the place. The fact that we have Chargestone Cavern. And I've been loving playing that.
And the Nature Preserve.
We do have the Nature Preserve, yeah. I think it's such a cool addition. You're enjoying
Pride Rock. We got Pride Rock.
We do have Pride
the
Rock.
Disney crossover we've all been waiting for.
What in the world?
No, I do love it. I do also want to say the music, the little hints of Unova, and like you get I think it's the Route 6 hint and Savannah Biome, Driftvale City, and the Coastal Biome. I wanted to call it the Alola Biome, which would kind of be accurate. But no, I loved it. I love that they have found a way to make regional variants kind of, not where I have to own a 3DS, a copy of Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and all this stuff. That's great. That is necessary. I thought it was really good. My one complaint about the terrarium would be that, Kitakami, you had the Poltergeist you could find wild. I wish there was a new Pokemon you could find wild here.
There's none.
Man, let me tell you something. It's a missed opportunity, because you know what I'd do? I'd have a random wild Pokemon here and have that be the Gen 10 hit. And then, because all these Pokemon aren't from here, right? Like, they're brought in because it's artificial. And then, we find out this Pokemon is a Pokemon that... We don't find it out
that would have been so cool.
But it's a Pokemon that lives in the Gen 10 region.
That's kind of like what they did with...
they're...
That's sick.
They'd never do it. It's too cool for them.
It's like Melmetal, right? It's like, introduce Melmetal, and then be like, it's from a mysterious place, but we don't know where.
Well, even different from that, you just literally introduce this Pokemon. Don't say it's from somewhere else. You don't assume have to be it's from a new region. Yeah. But just then in Gen 10... You find wilds of these Pokemon, and maybe their Dex entry says they originated here. Crap! So they were, when we saw it in the Blueberry Academy, they were from here this whole time.
That's really cool. I think in other ways that would have been so sick. In other ways, they've kind of done that with other Pokemon. Usually, they'll introduce rare Pokemon in one region, and then in the future regions, it'll be more common. But that doesn't mean that Pokemon's not necessarily from that region originally.
Even if it isn't like a situation like that, I do just wish that there had been a new Pokemon or even a new regional variant could be found
just
in the
something
terrarium.
I feel like more than one. It's like you to find.
Yeah, more than one would be better, of course.
One line of Pokemon in this entire thing? No, zero
especially since they, I feel like, really cheaped out with the new Pokemon. Of the new Pokemon, Terapagos, of course, that was done great because it's the final boss and everything.
But it though?
Hydrapple is just an evolution.
Originally, I mean, you could say Hydrapple is
I need to say this though before you move on. Terapagos is one Pokemon that has 2 pointless forms for no reason.
Yeah.
I guess one of them has a reason, but the other one has no reason at all. Why do we have the baby form at all?
Oh, really? I thought you were saying the stellar one was.
No, the stellar one at least has a point.
The baby form is the baby form has a unique model. It has a unique
Yeah,
it has
I
unique
at least appreciate
abilities
that.
and types. And
It's
then
not locked behind a
or not
gimmick.
types,
It doesn't
stats.
have
It
unique.
does
type,
nothing though. It does not. It is literally for the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby Tropicos is for the anime. It has no purpose.
Yeah, I think
the
a little
Terrestrial
beyond
Tropicos
the anime.
could have come out of that shell too. It could have come out of that same diamond thing.
Yeah.
It is for two things. First off, marketing, and second off, because Dusty, you'll hear me here. Terrapagos terrestrial form is terrible for thumbnails.
Yeah, it's true. The baby form?
No,
No,
the terrestrial form. It's bad for thumbnails.
It's hard to work with, but it actually is. I feel
the baby made it easier.
The baby is easier to put it in a thumbnail, but I think the mid stage one is one people actually care about. So I find the most success using that one.
It is.
So I agree with you, but I'm also I still think the baby's pointless.
That's fair.
What do you guys? Yeah.
I was gonna say just then like another thing was the other new Pokemon with the paradoxes, like it being there was Archaudon, that was another evolution,
yeah.
but the
but
paradoxes,
we knew about it a year ago.
Just literally being locked behind this Perrin quest and like,
and it wasn't the same as the Ursaluna, you know, like.
No, not at all.
We were expecting it. It should have been like literally. Yeah. We're all like, oh, we're gonna find Heath's book. Like that's how they should have done it. He should have had another book down there that indicated what he was like further findings, right? And then we track him down or something.
And
like,
it was dumb too. There was so much, and this is another thing that like I felt like was incomplete. It feels like they were supposed to be more important, but were scrapped. Because if you look in the trailer for Scarlet and Violet's DLC, they are shown. It shows the person battling a wild Raging Bolt in a different spot from where you find Raging Bolt.
Oh,
and it shows Iron Crown being battled, a wild Iron Crown being battled in the cave.
Yeah.
That's not where it's found in Area 0.
Bro,
so
that's
it's like
legit.
they had more, but they didn't. And just it's also dumb too, because like at least with like the Snacksworth thing, you have their snack. There's a reason that Latios is suddenly here now.
Yeah.
But with these, it's literally parents like they say they're there, and now they're there.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I get them being just rare in general, and this is kind of like a way for them to be like, oh, look at, but they're static. It would have been cool if they were like roaming, right?
Well, they're static, and there's no explanation for why they're there. Like, Perrin just literally goes, I hear they're there, and then they're there. Like, they don't go, oh, it would have made sense if they were in the Area 0 Underdepths, because it's like, that's a new part. They weren't here before because we couldn't access this part.
It made so much more sense for them to have been down there.
It just, they were very disappointing. Like, and it sucks, because I think they're not disappointing in terms of design and what they are.
Right.
But just, you know, like, these are supposed to be our Galarian birds, this DLC, right? And no. Yeah, no, the Galarian birds are so much better done, like in the story.
They hid 2 of them behind raids too, like the other 2.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, do you guys think Iron Leaves and Walking Wake will be available in the patch, maybe, or in the epilogue? No. Maybe they'll patch them in.
No, I think that's it.
Like they're just going to be rare forever.
I don't think they'll be a patch for the epilogue, because the epilogue they just have to distribute an item.
I guess, but they could make them encounterable.
Lumi still doesn't even have gouging gouging fire. Is that what, or you don't have? I
have gouging fire and Raging Bolt, and my wife has Iron Crown and Iron Boulder, but because she is Violet and I have Scarlet, like we can't get the other versions. Like we touch traded, yeah, but I would like my own Iron Crown. She would like her own.
A lot of people.
Well, so
like
here,
especially because like Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire, more so Raging Bolt, are very good competitively. Like VGC, they are doing. I think a Raging Bolt just won the Portland Regionals this past weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife can't get one.
So I just now on the GTS was able to. So I have a lot of like trade fodder, legendary trade fodder, and I put up Zacian and Zamazenta to get both of the other Iron Pokemon, Iron Boulder. And
that's basically how you have to do it. Like you have to have something equally big to trade for them.
I put up a shiny Ho-Oh, a shiny Screamtail, and a shiny something else to try and get them in. No,
not even a shiny Ho-Oh. The shiny Ho-Oh is pretty good.
Shiny Ho-Oh didn't get them. No,
where'd you get that? Is that like
that would do?
Where'd you get that?
I don't know. My wife had it from a while back. Like,
bro, can I have that? I'll trade you something.
He's asking if you can have it.
No. I'll trade you Iron Boulder. Or what do you need?
that one's my wife, so I was trying to get Raging Bolt for her with that one. But I'll take a Raging Bolt for that.
If that's a real Ho-Oh, like a real authentic shiny Ho-Oh, I would love to trade for that.
I will double check it and make sure it's legit.
Yeah, if it's legit, I'll 100% take that. That's super cool.
I pride myself on not keeping crap mons, you do, yeah. But
you get them from trades though, tons of times, and then you just recycle them out into the world.
Yeah, but if that's like ones that she hunted and like captured, I'm like, I don't want to waste that. Like, I'll take it. It'll be in my collection forever.
It's Japanese, so she might have traded for it, but she doesn't like to. She's like me. She doesn't like hacked mon, so it's probably legit. I'll look at it.
No, that's fine. If she didn't catch it, then it's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Because I can also get a Japanese one online.
But yeah, see, like I just checked on them. Then I have them up for trade.
Yeah.
Apparently, no one wants them.
Yeah, because they're locked. They locked them all, and they shiny locked them all. And we've already talked about.
That's why I did it too. I thought, hey, Ho-Oh shiny locked. People might be looking for some shiny Ho-Ohs. You know.
What do you think about?
She has a shiny Latios and Latios, and I was like, "Can I put those up?" And she was like, "Don't you dare." So,
Lumi, what do you think about the Let's Play feature, or the Let's Go, the Let's Go feature?
Oh, the synchro machine thing.
Synchro machine.
Yeah, synchro machine.
Oh, I like it. I think it's really, really cool. If Soul is right that that's going to be a whole game, I'm, gonna quit and become a Beyblade player.
You won't like it, Beyblade.
I definitely think it's. I feel
it would be a nice feature to be expanded on, but a whole game, nah.
I'm starting to think that the language
it would just be like an experimental game. That's all.
No,
I'm starting.
I'd rather have another Legends, please.
I'm starting to think that the language that they use when they introduce the synchro machine is that it's a prototype, and I'm starting to think that the prototype might also be just in game, like in the game. It's a prototype because you can't. I feel like you should be able to have your Pokemon jump. I feel like you should have more control over your Pokemon. Why are the flying type Pokemon not flying? I guess you could explain that, like, if you're taking over the mind of your Pokemon, you don't really know how to fly or use their body correctly, right? So maybe you can't actually sustain flight as a Rayquaza, right? Just like a Rayquaza would be able to. And so maybe that's a Gen 10 feature that's fully fledged, and this is just kind of a hint, right? Not necessarily a full game. I definitely think if we get a Gen 5 game, dude, I think it makes total sense for there to be some sort of, like, I could see them giving us either an item like the synchro machine, or maybe it's just like a power that you get. It's so you have like a royal blessing, and it's like the blessing of N or something, where you're able to like tap into their minds, right?
Sure.
The Pokemon's minds, just like N.
I think it would be cool if they like implement an N and it's like a side thing, so like in the same vein of contest battle royals, like allowed us to do like Pokken type battles with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If y'all remember that game, that would be neat.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really fun, like, instead of flying battles or whatever, right? Like you're actually able to.
The possibilities are endless.
I think that Bill is probably livid that he's been working on this in Kanto, and then some random chick at a school, a girl at a school, not a woman, a girl at a school. She hasn't graduated. She just comes up with a way to turn into your Pokemon.
She created
it. Bill's been like putting his whole life into this.
That's another thing, though. That's another thing. And there was that screenshot from Gen 6, I think, maybe it was Oras, that they've been playing. They've had this idea of becoming Pokemon for a long time, and people are like, "Yeah, Mystery Dungeon, all that." Yeah, it wasn't them that made that game, but also, it's just, I don't know. Maybe they've had this idea for a long time. Maybe they want to implement it.
I think they did. I think 100%. This feels like basic Pokemon. Like, this is one of the classic ideas, right?
They'll make it good, Lumi. If it is a game, they'll make it good.
From what I've seen, I don't know how.
As long as it's not just waking up and like destroying a Pokemon easy like that.
Also, my thing is too, these experimental games, I'm not sure I like them, because let's go, experimental game, great. Let's experiment again. Let's do this Legends thing. Let's experiment. No, don't experiment again. You found it. You found what you were looking for. Keep doing that.
That's not the thing, though. They're not looking for anything. They're just looking to create new experiences every time. They're not looking to like stick with something. They're looking to just create and create and create.
I hate that so much.
That's their philosophy in games, in making games. Like that's what it's been. But yeah, I liked it. I think it's good. It would make a good game. But at the same time, like, you know, Legends, I like Legends if it's, as long as it's got new Pokemon or forms and it's playable, like not like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, that was barely playable. And it has some kind of like new lore to it, then I'm in. It has to have those three things. I like Legends for that, but it's not replacing my mainline Pokemon like generations. Yeah, that's as long as it doesn't do that, I'm good. Like,
I think something happened.
I just can't imagine a good way to do it, but we'll see.
No, dude, it'll definitely be fun. It'll have a lot of the same core.
I trust them with that. Sure.
Philosophies. I think something happened where they were focusing a lot of attention on spin-off games, and then they realized those were not performing as well, and they. And then they started spending all their time on like on the mobile games, and we're still getting mobile games. And they were kind of like gimmick games almost, right? Like they were like living games. Like what is that, like Minecraft looking Pokemon game? And then you have like
Quest.
Yeah, there's like a lot of weird games like that. That was that era.
I hate how that stuff looks.
And then starting in Generation 8, they said, okay, well, what if we make spin-off games that are still core series, right? Mm-hmm. And that's and then that's around the same time that they started, making Pokemon Go compatible, right? That's a mobile game that's compatible with the main series. They make these spin-off games that are compatible with the main series. I think if we were to see a Let's Go game in the future that took on this synchro machine function, whatever, it would still fall in line or at least be compatible with the main series in some way, or Pokemon Home. Honestly, that could be a whole nother conversation at some point.
I was going to say we're a little off track, but
But we're talking about Pokemon Home and the Pokemon Bank dying and losing connectivity.
We should talk about that too.
We should talk about it at some
point. Since we have a little bit of time, I don't know how. I wanted to know what your like general idea of the DLC was too, Dusty. I mean, I'll say mine quick. I liked it. I don't know if I liked it more than Sword and Shields. Like, it had more content, I guess, and stuff like that. But there was just something about it that was like, it's all right. Yeah. I hate the BP situation. Like, is there an easier way to get BP? Because I want to do everything in the game, but it's locked behind BP.
If you link up with somebody,
I'm not linking up with nobody. I'm not. I'm not linking up.
Then no,
it's just like why are you blocking?
My wife and I link up,
but so that's been a criticism forever.
We'll farm thousands of BP in like minutes.
Yeah, honestly, we should do that.
It's over for me now. I have no. Mm-hmm. I want to do everything that's in it, and I cannot because I don't want to.
So if you link up with the guys, if you link up in our Discord, you will get so much BP, and I want to do that at some point.
And you even have you have like 30K plus fall. You have all the means to be able to link up with people, and you're just like, I don't wanna.
That's exactly right. The whole point is, I don't want to. I don't want to go through the whole thing.
You are being a Pokemon boomer right now.
Oh.
Back in my day, I didn't have to link up to get these
No, that's Pokemon. Not true. We did have to link up. We had to actually use a physical cable to link up.
Yeah.
I know
but they didn't lock things like this. This is like really.
They're not locking anything. You just play online.
Bro,
you don't even need to
the game.
But you don't even need to interact with anyone.
Starters. I wanted.
Then you can do that.
The whole league club thing.
You can do all of that.
I'm going through my 3,000 that I have just from the game, and that's it. And once I'm done with that, I can't be bothered to do the rest.
I think it said in the credits that the director of the DLC was Omori, and if that is true, then it was.
It was. Pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know about the director, but he was part of it.
Yeah, that right there sums up the problem with the DLC.
Yep, I agree. I was going to tweet about this as well because I saw the credits and it said his name, and I was like, "Oh, remember that one podcast that talked about it being
exact same thing.
Yeah, remember if it was done by him, then that's it. I am officially done with Omori. Like, I mean, I was
Omori, dude. Seriously, I really. God
I don't want the man to lose his job, but
yeah, no, me neither. But don't direct any more games, man.
No,
do a Masuda and step up to something else.
He's done his time.
Why the heck is EWOW not our regular guy?
I mean, he might be soon.
Good. if let me tell you something, if Gen
It's saying
10
the directors
comes out
are,
and they say the director is EWOW, I'm going to go nuts.
I don't know if those are the directors.
Those are the directors right there. But you see, then there's a
the top producer.
Yeah, he's a producer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means in game development. Obviously, he's in charge of just. I understand producers as someone who, like, just keeps the flow of the whole project going, right?
Which is true, but it also says, I forget. It's actually
it's
like
resource allocation.
Roll. Yeah, when the credits roll, he's like
the first name.
It was like based on all of his stuff, I guess. Like, he's behind all of this. He might not have directed the actual, like, what you're doing in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either way, he's got to
find a video of the credits because it plays Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shoots.
I have.
Damn you, Ed!
Take me a while.
A bad version of his song, I might add.
No, I loved it. I loved that.
I didn't even know it was him. I thought it was someone else.
That was by Toby Fox. It was like a remake. And I was like, "What is this?"
I don't think I liked it either. I thought it was like Three Doors Down or something.
No, I liked it a lot. Anyway, the other main thing, I liked the DLC. Don't get me wrong. I really liked it. It was enjoyable, but the BP thing and the other thing is the problem that's throughout all of Scarlet and Violet. This is one of my biggest takeaways of, like, a negative thing of Scarlet and Violet is I needed level scaling. I needed it so bad. The way that I played this game was annoying. The whole thing, because
the whole game or the DLC.
The whole game, because like
game.
Lumi was saying with the DLC, he's like, I'm gonna rotate my team. I literally have like a box, my one box, and it has all the Pokemon I've used because I don't want to go over level 80. So I'm just constantly rotating my Pokemon to get to level 80, then I'll switch them out. And I have no set team. And it's like, I want a set team that I enjoy the whole time.
Yeah.
And even when I take them out to go fight Terapagos, they're either overpowered or underpowered. I don't know. It was just
I think
it's so frustrating because, like, remember they hyped up the base game. They were like, you can do the gyms in any order.
Yeah.
Without level scale. What's the point?
Yeah.
And then with these, like, each of the Elite Four members, their Pokemon are the same level, so you can do them any order. But again, like you said, Soul, okay, well, that means by the time I get to the last guy I face, I'm 10 levels above him.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my one biggest disappointment.
I think there's a possibility that it could change in the future. I definitely think that was a big problem.
Oh, I hope so.
I've been playing
like in Gen 10, any order, but there's genuine scaling.
Yeah, I think also, and this is kind of like linked also to the EXP share. I'm playing Black and White right now, and I have a team of like 3 or 4, and I went back to get a Scratchy, what's his name?
Scrafty or Scraggy.
I got a Scraggy, evolved it into a Scrafty, or I'm going to evolve it into a Scrafty, but I got to use the EXP share. I have to actually allocate and be really deliberate with how I want to train it. And I think the reason why I love training teams in those older games is because it all feels earned and deserved, and I've already put the investment into those Pokemon. So even if they have bad natures or whatever, I'm going to use them because I like them. Even though if they're not perfect, I got to use them. But I feel like with these newer games, it's like there's some good things to this, but I like you said, Soul, I will use 20 Pokemon throughout my whole journey. I'm not using my original team because they would all be level 100. My third team in Scarlet and Violet is level 100, right? Yeah. They level up so quickly, which is fine in post-game, but like when you're playing through the game, it is pretty frustrating to just feel like you're always over-leveled. And I don't know, I think they could create a great system where, like, I don't know if they read, I feel like that has to be super easy basic coding to be like, if you have 4 gyms, badges or whatever, and a Titan, then everything will be level, like, 40 or whatever. Whatever the new thing that you fight is going to be this base level, and to just keep scaling from there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is also, I'm saying it, we've said it a million times. I feel like a broken record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have to go into it that much. I felt it even more with this DLC. Like, so the way that I played it was I wanted to beat every trainer in each biome. So I beat every single one before doing the Elite Four member. Yeah, so I picked like a whole nother team every time to like beat all the trainers, and then I had my main.
I did that for Drayden.
I had my main team. Yeah, it was fun, but it was like I'm using 30, 40 Pokemon. I'm using that many Pokemon to get through this. It was a lot, and I was like, I don't like this that much.
Yeah.
And then if you don't beat those trainers, then you're gonna go back and do it later. So it's like the same thing no matter what.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't fight any of the trainers ever.
Me neither.
No, I wanted to. I wanted to.
That is part of the experience.
I wanted to have a complete experience.
It is part of the experience.
And
I
feel like
I would never beat them.
I battled like 10 trainers.
Back in my day, you kind of had to, or you'd go into the gym and get clobbered.
But you don't have to do that.
I played it like an old Pokemon game. It's like each biome was like a route, and I had finished each route before I went to the gym leader at the end. It was really fun to do that. To end on a high note, I really loved the terrarium.
Yeah, the
I
terrarium's
loved
great.
the school story. I loved even the depths of Area Zero was really pretty and cool.
They were pretty.
Yeah.
The way that they set it up was nice. It wasn't just like a hall. It was like different rooms, and there's different things and different Pokemon to battle and all that. So I did like it. And the depths of the story, I was just thinking last night, I was like, who came up with this? Who was like, this is intense, man. This is a lot of thinking that someone had to. They were just like, you're in charge of the whole story, you know. And maybe if it's you, Amori, I'm sorry that I said something bad about it.
If it's you, Amori, the sun shines on a dog's butt some days.
Yeah, that's true.
Stick to the story building and not the other stuff. There you go.
I love the terrarium. I just love it. I love it. If this is what Gen 10 or a Unova game, if this is whatever the next open world game we get, if it looks and feels and plays like this terrarium and the dynamic geography that we have to traverse, if it feels like that, I'm gonna be in love. I love it so much.
I think it's only getting better, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe not this year, but whatever the next like real game is.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
what
only
I'm saying?
getting better. Except for this year, it's gonna get a little worse. But next year,
whatever the real game is, then it's gonna be better because they're gonna mix Legends stuff. Like I think if Legends was a one-off, well, let's not get too much into this, but if Legends was a one-off, they're gonna take things from Legends and put it into the next game, and they're gonna take things from Scarlet and Violet, all the better things and some bad things too, I'm sure.
Yep.
They're gonna put them all together, and we're gonna get a good game. But
and you're gonna have to play it with one Joy-Con.
No.
From Let's Go.
No.
It would just be the Pokeball Plus. That's the only controller that works for it.
Yeah. And it's a quick ball.
If you pay another $50, they'll give you a Great Ball Plus. So. Want to shout out to our patrons and members. When I say patrons, I mean patrons and members. Specifically, we want to give a special shout out to SEH_ArtGold, Jasco, Candace, Wendy's, and Trash Panda. All our mythical tier supporters. And we want to give a special shout out to Drogane and Bramtastic, our Arceus tier members.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. It feels great to know that we have the fan funding from you guys, from the community, the people who watch this show, to go into the new year and tackle some new topics, new concepts, new show formats, new guests. We've been planning behind the scenes, and it's been great to see what all the new things that we're going to be doing this year. So thank you everyone for your support, continued support. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or anywhere else, you guys can leave us a review. That'd be super helpful. Help us get discovered by more people. And if you're on YouTube, you can you can click this button right here. There should be something on the screen, and you can watch that video. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.